All right, what's up everyone? Andrew and Wendy at Microphonic Designs joining you today at Wendy's alma mater, Lewisville High School, actually. And we booked this one super last minute. We booked this one just earlier this week, but they have a new percussion director this year. And he was wanting some help getting all of this set up, and for good reason. It's a big ensemble, and it's a lot to take on when you're moving into a new program for the first time. We had to completely rebuild this mixer cart. I mean, it was crazy. I may try to edit the video to put in the before picture, but like the mixing console was underneath, and the rack space had been removed, and it was just a lot going on. So we simplified it. There's still a little bit to do, but I'm going to be coming back pretty soon for a rehearsal in which I will be finalizing some stuff. There's still a few more pieces of equipment that the group needs to get in order to make use of their quad receiver setup here. And a part of that is also going to include an active output panel, which I do build, as well as an actual pair of audio power combo cables, which I now am also building. So I'm going to get them set up with a few things for the mixer cart and the speakers to make that whole job easier. Wendy got the board programmed a little bit earlier today. We've got our 5 marimbas, we've got 4 vibes, 2 channels coming from the synth, which is, if you'll notice over here, we've got 2 synth carts, but we're doing the thing where it's 2 MIDI controllers into 1 computer. So it's a single pair, a single left and right combination coming into the board. And we're sort of limited on that because we only have 2 modular snakes. So we've only got 16 channels coming forward, which, as you'll see here, 10 is for marimbas, 4 is for vibes, and then the last 2 are our synth channels. We've also got our wireless channels here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, prepped and ready to go for when we get the RF Venue DFIN Distro 4 RF package put in here, and once we get an antenna and everything. So this is looking great. We've cleared this out. A lot of that is going to be gone whenever I get them an active output panel and a new set of combo cables for their speakers. So not too worried about it for now, but I did want to make sure that when we left today that they would be getting sound out of each speaker stack. So at least they can rehearse, at least they can hear what's going on. And in a little over a week, I'll be back out with them again on a Saturday to continue refining everything. So we have 2 distinct zones in this for ensemble that our modular snakes go to. And basically what we have going on is we've got 4 vibraphones back that way, marimba, 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 and then 2 more in the back. So our zone, we basically got these 2 marimbas come in to the junction zone, and then our 4 vibes kind of come in this way. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm not just doing a very good job describing it. But you'll see here, our first modular snake is right here. And actually, we need to add color code to it before we go, which Wendy's going to get on that right now. So let's get red for this one. It may be in the toolkit, but we'll find it. So we're going to add color code to this. But you'll see here, mic cables comes across, joins there, goes into the mod snake. And then our 4 vibraphones join over this way. So you'll see we've got blue, yellow, green, and orange. And so basically we've got our blue and our yellow vibes up front, and the wires just come across this way. And then we've got our green and our orange, and we have a small bundle coming forward to meet right there. So that's pod number 1, zone number 1 on the red modular snake. Back this way, it's sort of a similar idea, but I've got the white modular snake going back here to marimba 5. Now there's a reason for this. Again, when I'm trying to come up with where I want to lay cables, one of my many goals is to reduce the number of individual cable connections per student. So what I've done is we've got cables on this keyboard that come forward to the front end, and then they meet a bundle. That bundle comes back to the back row and joins here, which is also where the cables from marimba number 4 join up. So we've got those cables that just come forward and boom, right there. And then these come across. There's our blue microphones. There's our blocks of connectors right here, and y'all know me, I've got those on there really well. And that joins the modular snake, and then the two yellows over here are coming from the synth cart. Now the synth cart is mostly put together. Lewisville traditionally has not had an audio interface, and so what they would do is keep the mixing console in the front ensemble and use the X32 as the audio interface. Well, we are looking into getting them an audio interface, but there is a way around it. If you use an 1/8 inch connector coming from the headphone jack of the computer to dual 1/4 inch, check this out. We've got, there it is there, the 2/4 inch cables going into a DI box, because technically the signal coming out of this headphone jack is two separate mono sends. That's why it has a Y splitter, right? And so the idea here is that we're treating the headphone jack like an unbalanced output from a synth. So even though it's from a computer, it's unbalanced. It's two separate mono channels running into a DI. And then we've got the throughput here feeding the monitor speaker here. And then we've got another throughput cable right here that feeds that monitor speaker. So both synth players are going to hear each other's parts, but that's just a byproduct of how the setup is situated here. And I hope that won't be too much of an issue. If they get a larger size interface, we could split things out. But even then, we only have 2 channels in the mod snake to get the signal up there to the mixer cart. So this is sort of what I've come up with to make sure that they have sound for now. I know that budgets are always, you know, a concern and limited. And so, you know, if we end up doing it this way, then that's just how we do it. I would say the more important thing is to make sure that they have the active output panel and the combo cables, and certainly, you know, a remote antenna and the RF signal distribution, like the RF venue stuff. But if we can squeeze an interface in, we'll do it. But this way does work. We did check and test the sound from the laptop. We had just like a pre-show pulled up, and we played it, and we did get sound through the big speaker. So that's what we got going on. Real straightforward setup. The layout is a little bit different of a layout than I've ever done. But all we really have is just 2 bundles, you know, from the back row vibes going forward and from the front row marimba backward, and we're good to go. All the channels are working, thank goodness. The only weird thing, and I want to showcase this, we took a video of this a minute ago, but I want to showcase this because it's real strange. So I'm going to turn the console off, and here's that USB card, by the way. See this? 32 channel USB audio interface. So you can use this as an audio interface, but we're not going to do that this year. So let's turn this off, and watch this. This is real strange. So I'm going to reach back around and power this on. I'm going to see if it does it. It did it earlier. So the Behringer takes a minute to power on. And this one, y'all, just to put this in perspective, this console is like close to 10 years old. It has seen its heyday, certainly. So look at that. All the signals jumped up, and it's not doing it this time. I'll have to see if I can edit in the video. We're getting a few kind of little blips here and there. But earlier, y'all, it was like one of these channels is going crazy, and it was a lot of horrible noise coming through the speakers. So that's really strange. I don't mean to frighten the band staff here, but it is something to keep an eye out for because it's not done it every time we've rebooted. Let's try it one more time just to be thorough here. All right, here we go. And maybe I'll have to edit in the video that Wendy took because it was crazy. Wasn't it crazy? Yep. Yeah, it was crazy. Yep. Oh, there kind of did it a little bit there. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. That's normally not something that is supposed to happen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough here at Lewisville High School. Fun fact, Lewisville High was the very first client I ever had here in the DFW area for like doing a setup. And that was back in 2016. And so, you know, they've had changes in directors and all of that type of stuff over the years, but I'm happy to be back. And it's been a long day, so I'm kind of blanking on my words, but I truly appreciate the opportunity to come back out here and get the new group set up with a bunch of stuff and good cabling and all that. And I'm excited to see what they do. So until next time, y'all, Take care. Take it easy. Peace.